Someone loves you, genuinely, completely, without condition, and something inside you, something you cannot name and cannot explain, wants to run. Not because they are wrong for you, not because you do not feel anything, but because the love itself feels dangerous, like it is too much, like it is going to cost you something you cannot afford to lose. And the most painful part is this: you want it. You desperately want to let it in, but every time it gets close, something in you shuts the door, and you have spent years wondering why. This is not a character flaw. This is not selfishness. This is one of the most well-documented psychological patterns in attachment theory, and it has a name, a cause, and a neuroscience behind it that most people never get to hear. Psychologist John Bowlby spent decades studying how the earliest relationships in a human life shape every relationship that follows. His attachment theory, later expanded by researcher Mary Ainsworth, found something profound. The way a child learns to relate to their earliest caregivers becomes a blueprint, a template the brain uses for every intimate relationship for the rest of their life. And when that earliest environment was unpredictable, when love came with conditions, with withdrawal, with silence, with criticism, or simply with absence, the brain did something intelligent. It stopped fully trusting love, because every time it did, something hurt. This is called anxious or avoidant attachment. And in people who cannot accept love, the avoidant pattern runs deepest. The brain learned at a very young age that closeness was followed by pain, that vulnerability was followed by rejection, that needing someone meant eventually being let down, and so it built a wall, not out of coldness, out of self-protection. The person who cannot accept love is not unfeeling. They are someone who felt too much, too early, and learned the only way to survive it was to need less. Here is what happens in the brain when someone with this pattern is loved. The limbic system, the brain's emotional center, registers the love not as safety but as threat. The amygdala, which processes danger signals, activates, and the body responds the way it responds to any threat, with withdrawal, with distance, with the sudden and overwhelming urge to create space. This is not a choice. It is a conditioned neurological response. The nervous system cannot yet tell the difference between love that is safe and love that will eventually disappoint, so it treats all love as something to be careful of. The second layer is what psychologists call self-worth incongruence. When a person grows up in an environment where their emotional needs are consistently unmet, they internalize a quiet but devastating belief that they are not fully worthy of being loved. And when someone comes along who loves them fully and without condition, it does not feel like relief. It feels wrong. It feels like the other person must be mistaken, like they do not yet see the truth. And so the person pulls away, not to hurt the one who loves them, but because accepting the love would require accepting that they deserve it. And that is the hardest thing of all. Healing from this does not happen through willpower. It does not happen by deciding to be more open. It happens through what neuroscientists call earned security, a slow, consistent experience of being loved without consequence, of reaching for connection and not being punished for it, of being seen and not being left. The nervous system learns safety the same way it learned danger, through repetition, through experience, through time. If you are someone who pushes love away, you are not broken. You are someone whose brain learned to survive in an environment where love was not always safe. And the fact that you feel the pull of it, the fact that you want it even as you run from it, means the capacity is still there. It was never gone. It was only protected. If this video reached something inside you, our last video was waiting. We went deep into the psychology of overthinking and why your restless mind is not the weakness you were told it was. Go watch that one next. The link is right there. See you in the next video on Mind Unlocked.